All right, everyone. It looks like the economic doomsayers were wrong yet again. The new jobs report has just come out for the first quarter, and much better than expected. It looks like DOGE is actually working. When you fire people from the federal workforce, it doesn't necessarily mean higher unemployment. I mean, we added almost 180,000 jobs actually to the private sector, even while losing several tens of thousands from the public sector. That's because people who have any skills and experience can generally find jobs in the private workforce. The people that are employed by the federal government, we're talking accountants and lawyers and even fucking janitors and stuff like that. They will be able to find jobs, hopefully in their community. I do, by the way, feel sorry for a public worker who hasn't done anything wrong. Their job got axed and they can't find a job in the private sector. I do feel sorry for them. I know it's like to be down and out, trust me. But in general, the jobs report is good. For the most part, strong, beefy. I realize that GDP contracted slightly during the same period of time. This is a temporary setback on the road to freedom, so to speak. What we need to do is eliminate a substantial chunk of the public workforce, which is unnecessary. In many cases, jobs overlap, they're superfluous, they're unnecessary, and those people still have skills that will allow them to survive in the private marketplace, generally speaking. Most of these people, they have degrees, they have on-the-job training, they have a resume and so forth. I think that they'll be fine, generally, 9 times out of 10. And anyway, if the job is not necessary, now they're in the private workforce. So instead of taxpayers subsidizing them, because they're getting paid literally by your tax money, they're getting paid by a private business and paying into the tax system, by the way, double in the process, which is something that I don't particularly like because I hate taxes for obvious reasons. But it's better than the alternative, which is that everyone else has to prop up an individual who's in a role that is deemed unnecessary to begin with. So Doge is indeed working. I thought, according to some commentators, uh, both independent and legacy media, I thought that the economy was supposed to collapse by now. I thought that Trump's tariff war and his firing of public employees was supposed to have upended society to the point where it was no longer sustainable. We should all be dressed in rags right now, marching through the streets saying alms, alms for the poor. That's what I thought was going to happen. Or we should, be all dusty, wandering around with a horse-drawn wagon, trying to find a better life in some greener pastures, like Grapes of the Wrath style. Oh, all I want is work. Please let me work 12 hours a day, just so I can get bread for my kids and stuff like that. That's basically the picture that was painted by the legacy media. I'm not being hyperbolic, they were being hyperbolic. That's how they depicted it. We're going to have a Great Depression. The economy will collapse. Everything will be twice as expensive and you'll make half as much money. So in other words, live in the pod, eat the bugs because you won't have any choice. Which is what they want actually. That's what they painted as a picture of what would happen due to populistic economic policies. Instead, we see quite the opposite. We see a very small, mild contraction in GDP, which was expected, by the way. And then we see great jobs report because people are exiting the federal workforce and entering the private workforce. Where's the problem here? On tariffs, China comes out almost immediately upon, 145% tariffing on certain goods, says, well, we're willing to negotiate. Europe says, well, we're willing to negotiate. Canada says, we're willing to negotiate. I believe that Donald Trump is meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister literally today. Um, there are reasons for these things happening. We're restructuring our economy to put America first. There will be growing pains. And by the way, I will warn all of you, there will be. The problem is that the public is very fickle. And so they don't have a real high tolerance and patience for anything that is going wrong. Even if the current administration is attempting to reassemble things in an ultimately positive manner, eventually they crash out and they say, okay, enough is enough. We've had enough pain. Thankfully, so far, the level of pain is pretty slight when you think about it. I mean, the pain of Bidenomics still stings. Now, that's the whole problem. We had massive inflation under Biden, and while it is cooling further, and that's a good thing, by the way, it hasn't gone away. It's still there. It's going to be there for some time. Trump, inevitably, after his first 100 days especially, will take the blame for policies that he himself did not initiate, just as Biden would have had to take the blame for any policies that Trump initiated. And Trump, term one, had to take the blame for policies that Bush-Obama initiated. Obama gets a pass because of the color of his skin, not the content of his character, of course, by the legacy media. This was inevitable, and because Orange Man bad, you can expect a lot of negative reporting on literally anything that goes wrong. The exact opposite, by the way, of what you got under the Biden administration. The new jobs report is great. It's not just good, it's great actually when you think about it. You've got a huge number of new jobs. That means more tax revenue. Again, ugh, taxes. You've got more people employed. Supposedly, half of the population should be wandering around unemployed right now, begging for work, basically. Feel like the 1800s with the Irish immigrants back in the middle of the 1800s. No Irish need apply. Only this time it would be no white people need apply. I have a feeling. That's about all. Peace out.